Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Monday's mini episode of the Nurtured by Nature podcast. It's early December, and like many people, I guess I'm starting to think of Christmas. We've got a lovely frosty cold spell here, so it's looking like a beautiful wintry landscape, and the sky is blue with a heavy frost on the ground. For some of us, Christmas might be naturally a time of coming together with our friends and family, a time for celebration. For others, it can be quite a difficult time of year. Sometimes we can feel quite lonely and isolated when others around us are celebrating. But I think something I've become aware of in more recent years is the fact that it also feels like quite a wasteful time of year in our societies, certainly in our Western culture. One only has to step foot in a supermarket, certainly in the weeks closest to Christmas, to see these mountains of food appear. So I think part of my process over the last few years has been to look at ways that I personally and in our house and family can make Christmas a little less wasteful, because it's a conversation I've had quite a few times with some of the guests that I'm going to be sharing with you, is actually just doing little things ourselves do add up, and perhaps they also inspire other people to do the same. So it would be great if you guys wanted to comment perhaps on social media or get in touch with ways that you look to make Christmas perhaps more sustainable from an environmental perspective. I know one of the things I've started to love to do is get more of my decorations from foraging in the countryside around us here. Last year I actually wove a wreath for our front door from some willow branches and then decorated it with some lovely holly and ivy, old man's beard as well. That's also quite a nice one, and a few little crab apples and spindle flower berries that we found. And then we also used some holly and ivy to decorate in our house, which was great because obviously afterwards it can all go outside and be recycled, composted down, and not have plastic that's obviously going to be in our environment for probably forever. We also bought a little Christmas tree that's got a root ball on it and is in a little pot, so he's going to come back every year. We managed to keep him alive for the whole year, so that's quite an achievement. And we're about to bring him in and decorate him with some lights and ribbons. And I think one of the things over the years that I've also looked at is obviously gifts and gift wrapping, ways that you can do that in a more sustainable way. I've got a lovely interview coming up on Friday with Molly Ellis, the wild felter. Molly's put a lot of thought into reducing the packaging on the products that she sells and packaging them in a more sustainable manner. We discussed that at length in the episode that will be coming out on Friday, so I hope you'll join us for that inspiring conversation. But swapping sellotape for a biodegradable option, looking at reusing or reusable wrapping materials, and also I guess buying gifts that people actually want. So maybe having a conversation with them about something that they perhaps want or need, would like. I know one of the things that I love to get is books. I have a bit of a book fetish, and I'm sure over the course of this podcast journey we'll be sharing lots of the inspiring books I've read. We mentioned some great books in last Friday's episode with Laura Sweet, and they were some of my favourites. Sharon Blackie's book, The Enchanted Life. Braiding Sweetgrass is another favourite of mine that I actually got for Christmas last year. So that would be highly recommended, both as to put on your own Christmas list or to gift to a friend. But there's lots of amazing nature books out there, new ones coming out all the time. So please, also, I'm going to be doing a post on my social media, and it would be great if you shared any books that you've read and you've loved, because I'm also looking for new ones for myself, and you might pick up some ideas for your own Christmas lists. I love to get a book for Christmas, and I think it's a gift that gives on many levels. And over the years, having a garden of our own, I have friends who have their gardens as well. We often like to swap bulbs or plants or seeds that we've harvested from our own garden. So that's another nice sustainable option if you're thinking about what gifts you can give people. Or sometimes we've made gifts from things we've foraged. So perhaps when we've had a glut of tomatoes that we've grown, we've made chutneys, maybe made fruit jams. So there's all sorts of things that you can do that are perhaps a little bit more sustainable and sometimes also a bit more personal, that make a lovely gift to give and receive. Well, that's it for me for today. It was just a little quick Monday mini episode. I hope you'll be back to join me again on Friday, when I'll be in conversation with the lovely Molly Ellis from Ireland, and we'll be discussing her fantastic rewilding of her own garden, her decarbonisation of her home and business, and ways that she's brought sustainability into all areas of her life. I hope you have a lovely week, and I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Nurtured by Nature podcast. I truly hope this conversation has brought some hope and inspiration into your life. I would love to have these messages ripple out across the world. So if you can, please share this episode with your friends, leave a review on your favourite podcast player, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I would love to hear from you, so please feel free to connect with me on the links provided in the podcast description. But most importantly, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. But don't forget to simply get out there and enjoy the natural world.